a quick interview? Because we want to air it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Sure,
Now,
we're totally ready.
You saw those, like, before everybody else came in, there were a couple, like, little kids that came in and said hi to you, and then they're like,
That's right.
their dad is a huge fan of the band. What was the first person that you guys both met that was, like, just awe-inspiring? Like, this is all serious, too. I'm trying to figure out, like, that one person, the first person you met that was like, wow.
The first person that I met that really took the words away, where I didn't know what to say, was Iggy Pop.
Wow, where'd you meet him?
I met him. There's a magazine in England called Kerrang, and I was at this Kerrang Awards show, and I've known Marilyn Manson, for a bunch of years, and he said, "Come with me, we're going to take a photo," and it was for the cover of Kerrang, and it was me, Manson, and Iggy. That's where I met him, and so I was like a total bumbling idiot. I was like, "You get your picture done all the time." You know what I mean? And like, he's half my size.
I was going to say, how tall is he?
So he basically answered right into my belt. I was like, "It looks cool down there, right?" No. It was I didn't know what to say, really. And I really didn't say anything. I wished I'd said something that cool in my head, you know.
I met Kurt Cobain on the street once, and it was such a short meeting of, "Hi, Troy, Kurt, see ya." But I didn't know what to say to him.
Yeah, I also met Kurt too through Dave. I've known Dave for years, and when I was backstage at a Nirvana show, and Dave, you know, was, "Hey, it's Dave," you know. And he goes, "Hey, Kurt, this is Josh. Josh is Kurt. Josh plays in Caius." And Kurt goes,
Yeah, it's trippy because you were sometimes called the Kurt Cobain of desert rock or something like that. Is that?
I am.
I don't know. I've seen that.
You are now.
Just in your house, it's all written out everywhere.
Yeah. It's just over an archway walking in.
Like Bart Simpson writing, "I will not do something in class."
Exactly. How did that tour with the Rage Against the Machine go for you guys? Pretty solid. Obviously, we played at Alpine here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I mean, it was just that show, and it was a really cool situation because, once again, people we've known for a long time, and they asked us to play, and it always feels good to be asked instead of to have to try to kick your way into something. And as you may or may not know, Rage Against the Machine is one of the few bands that we really have to really go overboard to hold our own with. I mean, they're one of the best live bands in the world.
Yeah, we really had a great show that day, and we were like, yeah. And then they came out and they just went, bam! It was, it gave me chills in all the right spots.
What was it like backstage?
It was great.
Well, it was their fans, by the way. we had to turn people out like a brand new pimp looking for employment. You know, I mean, it's like, and so. But watching that, yeah, it really did. We got the chills.
Everybody was watching, backstage, front stage. People from Mars were watching too. It was
satellites reviewing. It was amazing. They were really good, and I think they're so much better than Autoslave that, you know, it's just like one of those things where you're like, thank God you guys are back and around.
Yeah,
don't you think, dude? I mean, come on, be honest. It's like Audioslave was brown. And Rage Against the Machine is this great fucking band, you know, and it's also very politically motivated. These songs from back then that apply almost more so now than they did at the time.
That's why it's great timing that they're doing stuff
because it's
now.
actually lamer now than it was then when they came out. You know, not the songs, but the time frame. And so those songs, you know, I mean, those four guys together is really magical. It's one of the best bands in the world.
Speaking of touring, you guys, how much longer is this tour going on? Couple
years.
Just yeah. It's October now till December 2009.
Tell me if I read this wrong. That you guys have enough stuff for another album. I think you said that when I talked to you on the phone.
Yeah, I mean, what we have is a bunch of ideas that we haven't put together because when you put them together too soon, you run the risk of getting sick of them. And what we're actually talking about is, we have a lot of touring to do for this record, so we're going to do that. But what we're talking about from that point on is breaking the mold of touring for 2 years on a record that it took 2 years from stopping of touring to putting it out for it to come out. What we're talking about now is like putting out 5 or 6 songs, going and touring for 6 months, put out another 5 or 6 songs, because the way that music comes out is so different now, you know. Between you know, going to iTunes and all this stuff and being able to choose and sort of cherry pick songs, we figure like, well, we'd like to be able to break the conventional mold of what's going on, maybe, and between all the sharing, yeah, we thought.
Hey, I'm going to share your car.
Yeah, we'd like to share your guys' cars today in Milwaukee.
You can go smoke in my car if you need to. I mean,
yeah, let's do it.
Not a problem.
That sounds like a date.
As long as the record companies are good with that, right?
What's that?
As long as the record companies are good with that, you'll release the EPs. I saw an article where you just said that. That's why I brought that up.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I just think that we need to do things, we being all bands need to do things that and do not endorse mediocrity, period. And because that's the obligation of being in a band. And
definitely.
I mean, you'd be surprised how many bands just want to sound like Nine Inch Nails and hope that somebody likes them at Columbia Records.
Yeah.
You know? When really the goal is to sound like yourself and use music as the pleasure device to create these great moments or to explain the most difficult things in life that words cannot explain. And anybody that stands in the way of that should be rolled over. And I don't care who it is, you know?
Nice. You guys, Josh, you planning on doing any Desert Sessions, any more albums?
Yeah, in December or early January we'll go in for Desert Sessions 11 and 12. Yeah.
I like the way you threw the track on a new album too from Desert Sessions. It was 9 and 10, or
9 and 10 was the last one.
Yeah.
It's they're getting better and better and more understood and more understood, and it's just supposed to be a cool mixtape. You know, I don't do anything to promote them. They should be like, you know, I'm from the desert, and the amount of times I've actually tripped on something half buried and been like, wow.
Yeah.
Like that's how I met Troy.
Half buried. Good. Well, we usually
so it should be like that. The Desert Sessions should be like that.
And it does sound natural and organic as well. Anytime you listen to any of those, they're cool albums. They're cool mixed CDs is what they are, tapes. We're going to hit it and quit it real quick. We got some quick questions for you, okay?
I'm still going to do that.
This is how we end the interviews. Guys, Troy and Josh from Queens of the Stone Age. Better movie, Queen of the Damned or The Stoned Age?
I don't think I've seen the Stone Age, but I'm going to go ahead and say Stone Age.
Okay, here's why.
Word.
Here's why I'm going to say Queen of the Damned, because Aaliyah was in it. And
Leo. Yes.
You know, when I think of Aaliyah, I think of like, yeah. And I really liked her music, as weird as that may sound to some people. Like the stuff she did that was written by Prince and all this stuff, badass, man. Because I like to go dancing, you know. So that's why I got Elvis's shoes on.
So you got your dancing shoes on. That's nice.
That's right.
Josh, true or false, you have a extensive collection of corks?
Corpses? Yeah.
Like C-O-R-K-S?
Did you say I have a huge cork?
Correct.
Yeah, he's got a huge collection of corks.
You're right there, shrimp.
To stop all the whining.
The cork trees are becoming extinct. God, that sounds so wrong, but it's true, you know. They're being killed by whales.
Fair enough.
And I only eat tuna-safe dolphin.
And those whales are killer.
No, cork trees are becoming extinct, and your finest wine is now being screw-topped or plastic corked. And it kind of feels cheap. Yep. And it just started years ago when we were at this nice restaurant in France, and